Scissor me, Sal. Other side. We're scissoring behind the scenes right now. You don't even see it. Ready to tag in and experience the world of professional wrestling like never before. Welcome to the Hot Tag Podcast with Billy and Sal. Salvatore,
Billy.
we're back for episode 3, baby. Episode 3. Listen. I know you guys are going to be a little, freaked out because I got a new look going here, but I've been growing my beard for, the last 8 months, and every time I was taking a bite of a sandwich, I was eating, my beard, and it was pulling little hairs out. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore, so I got rid of the stash. Do you like my new look?
I do.
Do it look snazzy?
Perfect for our re-debut in a couple months.
Yeah, right? Oh, I love it. How you doing? Did you
I'm
enjoy
good.
your day today? It was a crazy day.
It was very long, especially with the 4-hour wrestling show right in the middle of it. But
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, it's why we're here, right? We are going to talk a lot of AEW. Obviously, AEW All In Wembley is in the history books. And what a monumentous, you like that word? It was a crazy show. It was a lot to dive into here.
I thought it was really good. It was probably, I would assume because of probably my favorite AEW show to date.
Really?
Yes, it probably had a lot to do with the spectacle of it. 80,000 people.
Yeah.
I like, when WWE holds events, sometimes they darken the crowd so you can't really see it.
Yeah.
AEW, they had a lot of lights and it looked really good. You could see.
And it was daytime for a long time too. I felt like
Yeah.
up until the last couple matches, it was pretty light out.
Well, I don't know why I did this, but I did. So when it started at 1, I was like, oh, I wonder what time it is in London right now. And it was 6. So you start at 6. It doesn't start getting really dark until about 8:30, 9 o'clock now.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good time to start a venue, I think, too.
I
6
think it's
o'clock.
tremendous. On a weekend, obviously, like a weekday, it's kind of hard just because of work. Most people work 9 to 5. So,
Yeah.
but as far as like a pay-per-view on a weekend, I think that's perfect.
And I commend them because it didn't run extremely long. Was it 4 hours? Minus 0 hour. But
Yeah, not including the pre-show.
Didn't feel that long.
I think it was just under 4 hours, which is,
And
for a big pay-per-view, that's fine.
to be honest with you, the action was so fast-paced and the show was moving. I felt the show moved at a really good pace, so it wasn't a lot of it wasn't too much downtime for me,
Yeah, so there was one point where I was starting to get really tired. I forgot which match it was during, but I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, oh wait, they got the trios tag and then the world title match. And I was like, all right, 2 matches, that's not better than I remembered. I was like, oh wow, Jericho and Ospreay hasn't happened yet. And that's gonna go long. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
I was getting there, but it ended up working out just fine.
So, Sal, you're going to be very impressed, I think, right? So if you look down right here at our little text scroll that we got going across the
A
screen.
little scroll, okay.
Yeah, so I have all the AEW All-In results, and I have everybody's match time.
Oh, really? Well, I
In
can't really
there.
see. It's like cut
Jack
off on the
Perry.
bottom of the screen.
Jack Perry and Hook only went 8 minutes and 24 seconds.
But it was good. It was a good 8 minutes and 24 seconds.
It was a good 8 minutes and 24 seconds, and we're going to get into that right now. Let's get into our pre-show matches, right? So, listen, this show, we're going to touch on some other stuff, but this show is going to be a lot of AEW All In Wembley because it's been engulfing the news, everything, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything was all AEW this week. They had a lot of media scrums, and they did a lot of media, and it's just, there's really not much more wrestling news out there this week aside from AEW. Obviously, at the beginning of the show, we showed the infographic of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt both passing away. Here at the Hot Tag Podcast, we would like to send our condolences to both families. Two legendary characters. Terry Funk, the epitome of tough,
Love
and
Terry Funk.
Bray Wyatt, just one. I don't think we'll ever see another creative human being in WWE or wrestling, for that matter, ever again that'll come close to Bray Wyatt. Do you agree?
I wholeheartedly agree, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday on our prediction show, but
Yeah.
I think it's me and you. Anybody that's followed anything we've done, in our, I guess, brief time in the wrestling business, I mean, it would be obvious that this guy was a huge influence on us, one way or another. Just the whole vibe of Bray Wyatt. I used to call us, when we were the End, I would always say that we were like a more urbanized Wyatt family.
Yeah. We were like the Wyatt family from the city.
Right.
From New York City.
Exactly.
If the Wyatt family lived in a project building on Avenue D in Manhattan, that's what we would be.
If the Wyatt family was from Midland Beach on Staten Island, that's where we would be. But no, that's what I always used to say.
Yeah.
It's just, unfortunate, but thoughts go out to the family. It's totally different circumstances, right? Like Terry Funk, what was he, 79?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate no matter what, you know what I mean? But, he lived
he had a great life. He lived a really good life.
Right. And Bray Wyatt was 36 and
Bray Wyatt had his whole life to live.
4 young children. His wife, I think, is 29 and she's a widow already.
Yeah.
So, it's,
Listen.
but it's, what do they say? Legends never die, right? And that man is I was actually watching something with my kids yesterday of the Wyatt family versus the Shield, and it's just like he might not be physically here anymore, but his legacy is gonna live forever, and there's gonna be people that come up behind him that are wildly influenced by him.
Well, I'll tell you something. Seth Rollins paid tribute to him at a live event yesterday.
I've seen that.
And if we have time later in the show, I'll put that on so our fans could see it. It was a beautiful tribute. Not to divulge too much time on this because it really breaks my heart. Me and Bray Wyatt are around the same age. He's 36, I'm 35, both born in 1987. He has 4 kids. I have 4 kids. So it really got me thinking, and Bray Wyatt was a very captivating character. And but when I saw the news, it 100% broke my heart.
It's funny. A day before, maybe, I was telling Corinne, for no other reason other than I haven't been to a doctor in years. I just want to go get my heart checked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that happens. And again, I'm not, I'm 33. So it's, it's something to definitely going to go get that checked now. Just listen, I don't know what happened, but it's something that I wanted to do anyway.
Apparently it was COVID. I guess that's listen, I don't like to, I don't believe half of what the internet says, but apparently he had COVID some months back, and it exacerbated a heart issue that he had. I guess maybe COVID affected the lining of his heart, and I know COVID, when it inflames other organs, I guess the issue with COVID was that it was inflaming people's lungs and leaving a lot of scar tissue. So I don't know. This is pure speculation, by the way, but maybe apparently it affected his heart, and he was, I guess, almost cleared to come back 2 weeks prior, and then this happens, and it really sets the entire professional wrestling world back.
Me and you were talking, and you were telling me, or I read something somewhere that they were coming up with plans for the guy.
Yeah,
so
they made new T-shirts, new merchandise.
Right, he had to have been getting better. He had to have been getting better. for
Yeah.
that to start. And I don't know, but but
Yeah,
you
rest in
know,
peace to both those guys, man.
yeah, for sure.
True living legends. When they were here entertaining us. But let's get into AEW All In, because this was a very busy show, and it's going to be a very busy podcast for us. So let's get into our first match of the pre-show. We got Aussie Open versus Better Than You, baby.
Baby.
Okay, so MJF opened the show with Adam Cole and then closed the show with Adam Cole. Me and you yesterday on the prediction show were saying like, hey, I really didn't know if it was necessary. I still don't feel like it was necessary, but nonetheless, here we are.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, still, I'm not sure if I agree with the decision to do it, but who the fuck am I, right? I'm just
Yeah,
some schmo doing
yeah.
something from his couch. So
And we saw Adam Cole and MJF pick up the win. They're now the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
yeah, why? I mean,
I
sure,
don't know.
they had to win, I guess, right? They had to,
Yeah.
but I got admittedly, at 0 hour, I didn't really watch because
Mm-hmm.
I was hanging, just making sure the kids didn't tear apart the house during that period of
Yeah.
time. I had it on, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really paying any attention to it. But I did come in and see the double clothesline for the win. I did
Yeah, the
happen to catch
kangaroo
that.
kick. The
The
kangaroo
kangaroo
kick
kick, yeah.
was crazy over. The double clothesline is crazy over. Listen, this is my perspective from this aspect, and this is, I think I've hung out with the Greek god Papadon too much, right? Shout out to GGP. If you have a match and there's 13 super kicks, and then you finish the match with a double clothesline, I don't know. The for me it was a little like, okay, I get why they did it. They popped the crowd. Maybe didn't need to be much storytelling there aside from the MJF and Adam Cole storyline, and that was like my other thing too. It's like I feel like the whole match was about MJF and Adam Cole, and poor Aussie Open didn't really get much out of it, aside from when they one of the members of Aussie Open stole the Adam Cole Bebe in front of 80,000 fans. So I guess
Hey,
I don't know.
sometimes people need to be sacrificial lambs, unfortunately.
Yeah, it did.
Um,
I felt like this match didn't even need to happen, but it happened, and
I
they're
agree.
the
It
new
didn't need to
champs.
happen. I think it was like you said, unnecessary. I don't think they needed to win the belts,
Yeah,
So like, there's obvious things that are, to me, like, why would you do that?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
nonetheless, it was fun. The people in attendance were really into it. So like, that, and like you said, the kangaroo kick into the double clothesline. Listen, you're over when you can get a double clothesline over as a finish, brother.
MJF
So,
has a really good kip up too. I love when wrestlers
bro,
kip up, and he has a
I
really good kip up.
I this guy very doesn't show it very often, but he is super athletic,
Yeah, he's good.
and
I
like he
like him.
doesn't need
He's
to show
good.
it, right? He's just a good pro wrestler, so he doesn't really need to do all this fancy
Yeah,
shit. But he like when he really wants to do stuff, he's very capable.
he is. He is very capable of it, and so they won the straps, and I guess we'll see where it goes from there. Maybe they'll do like Adam Cole and MJF versus Roddy and
I think that's
somebody
where they're
else,
going.
and yeah, and then I don't know. It's gonna be a love triangle. I have a feeling between those three guys. We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
we got to,
But
but don't forget there's another pay per view in a week. So
yeah, great. We have it's like two. We have two pay-per-views next week. We're gonna just don't sleep. Just make sure you have. I'm gonna need an IV of espresso over the next 2
well, you
weeks.
know what? We're all off the next day, so we can jump on this and record after.
Yeah, we're chilling. Don't worry. We got this. Next match and the final match of the pre-show, I believe. These two, you had Hook versus Jack Perry. Decent match. It
I
wasn't
loved it. I mean,
too
I loved it
bad.
for what it was. It was
Yeah,
Hook comes out on
obviously.
top. I think it was
Yep.
the right guy won. I think it was fun for what it was. Like I said, what did you say it was? 8 minutes. I think it was a
Yeah.
great 8 minutes. Didn't overstay its welcome. There was a cool spot. I think fucking Perry did a rolling thunder onto the car. Like that was cool. Like he was on the hood and Hook was on the no Hook was on the hood and Perry was on the roof. He does the rolling thunder. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And
But
then
yeah.
and then and then he says something that I think, got ruffled some feathers in Gorilla is when he banged on the windshield and he was like, "This is real glass. Cry me a river."
Yeah, and he said it about this guy. So
Hmm.
apparently, news
Well,
coming out of
that's the subliminal, like that's
yeah,
the chutzpah.
real glass. Yeah. So, um, oh boy. So apparently, the news coming out of Wembley today: CM Punk, Jack Perry backstage altercation. There was
Oh man.
reports of a lot of yelling, and apparently at one point there was some physicality. Pure speculation, but because there's no video of it. But apparently an eyewitness said that at one point Perry was getting choked
Yeah, I heard that.
right
Oh,
before CM Punk goes out for his match, and you know this is what makes me scratch my head about AEW because they put on this grand show and there's so much high school bullshit going on backstage. To
you know
me, it
what?
feels.
But so like obviously like you can't believe everything you read, right?
No, yep, you're right about that.
And well, I believe there might have been, and if it goes according to what everybody, well, not everybody, but what the sources are saying, quote unquote, is that Perry initiated the problem.
Yeah.
My only thing with that is, can you see Jungle Boy just trying to punk out CM Punk?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to prove something backstage. Maybe I don't know. I can't. I
What could
mean,
he be
listen.
trying to
They
prove?
both. They both look to me like. Listen, I'm not saying I want to fight these guys, but they both look like if they got into a fight, people would think it's funny more than anything.
I don't know. Here's what I think about CM Punk. Yes, he got washed in the UFC by the best fighters in the world,
Yeah.
but those are the best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
Trained assassins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, what do you
Yeah.
expect to happen? This
Yeah.
guy, but he's still, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm pretty sure this guy can still take care of himself. So, um,
Well, I mean, listen. That's the
against
thing.
Jungle
Like,
Boy, come on.
in like a real fight, Jungle Boy, if Jungle Boy hits him with a sucker punch and he gets him in the nose, his eyes start tearing up. That's a game changer for the fight right there. So
Well, 100%, but he's
I
got to
don't want
catch
these
him.
guys to fight though. I don't want these guys to
No,
fight. I
not
want
at
these
all.
guys to grow the fuck up.
Yeah, and learn to, like, if you don't
Be
like each other, walk
professional.
past each other. But
Yeah.
listen, again, Jungle Boy's out in the middle of a pay per view, sending out subliminal messages, knowing what people are reading. Now, hopefully, there's some giant thing in the back where they're all like, "Oh, we're getting these guys," like everybody thinks we're
Yeah.
fighting. Hopefully, that's what this turns out to be. But you can't. You're gonna do that in front of 80,000 people live, plus whoever's watching a pay per view. You're sending. That's the childish shit
Yeah, and he got
to
sent home
me.
for it. They
Did
sent
he
him
get?
home. Apparently he was ordered to leave Wembley Stadium.
I mean, I'd be surprised if Punk wasn't told to either. Like, regardless of who started, he still was in a physical altercation.
Yeah.
So,
No, I
go
think
out.
Punk was there. I think Punk stood. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
maybe
he probably was. He's CM Punk, bro. Like,
yeah.
who's gonna
And
tell him to go home?
Perry probably started it. That's what it
That, that
seems like.
that's what it sounds like. But then you
Yeah.
got Miro jumping on Twitter and saying that it's completely untrue. So who knows?
Yeah. All right, we'll see. I mean, listen, maybe Mira's trying to save face for AEW, but right now
But
AEW
but
desperately
but
needs a
doesn't that
backstage.
don't you think that makes them look worse when these reports are coming out? Obviously, somebody back there is leaking shit,
Yeah.
and then you got a whole other person saying, "Oh, that didn't happen."
Yeah. I don't know. It makes them look like they can't get their shit together backstage. They
Oh yeah,
need a locker room leader, and CM Punk is not it. You know,
No, but look
apparently
at what.
Jericho is like a locker room leader back there. He needs to start fucking, I don't know, punching some of these young kids in the
Yeah,
face like the good
Moxley,
old days.
Danielson.
Yeah.
No, they got Sting.
It
Like
seems
who?
like the wild, wild west, though, back there. Like that locker room seems like the wild, wild west. And
You know why? It's because, and you've been in locker rooms before. It is high school, um, and these guys have been given the freedom to almost do what they want on television to an extent.
yeah.
And I think it's getting to them in the sense of like, all right, we can do whatever we want on TV, we can do whatever we want wherever. Because look, you know what I mean? It's being treated like an indie company, like where it's just like it's a free for all. Like you can't run it like that.
No.
Well, part of the appeal is the fact that it was like did feel like a little bit of the whole appeal of the original All In was that it was an indie thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it loses that appeal once it becomes a AEW,
Yeah.
But it seems like they're trying, and what they used to do, they used to bring it in together, like whatever, it was cool, but you at some point you got to reel it in and be like,
Yeah.
all right, this is $1 million company here.
Yeah.
We're trying to do something, and you guys are gonna fuck it up.
Yeah. And this has been going on for a while now. This is
A year
not
at
like,
least, right? Over a
yeah.
year now, because you started hearing reports about Punk having problems ever since Double or Nothing last year with Paige.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going, yeah. So it's like,
A lot of childish stuff backstage. There
yeah,
was a
they,
sign in the crowd at
yes,
AEW Wembley today. I should have grabbed the graphic and put it on the screen, and it said CM Punk is the best in the world at being a little bitch. Never met the guy personally. I've heard some stories about him though. I know some people that have met him personally, that have worked with him personally, and
not very
they have
flattering.
not very flattering. Not sentimental words about the guy, that's for sure. They've used some
No.
colorful language to describe that man. But whatever, just as long as they
Oh my
figure it
God. Do
out
you
and
remember years ago, we're talking when I first started training, I gave Whiplash for his birthday the yellow GTS T-shirt
yeah,
only because I know how much he hated CM Punk for some reason. So and
yeah.
that shirt was like it was old or whatever, and it was like worn out. So I gave it to him, and I'm pretty sure he used it to wipe his ass.
Hey, could be. Hey, listen, I like CM Punk, and then I find stuff out like this, and that makes me dislike the guy. So
Yeah, but I feel like this wasn't his fault. If it goes down the way they said it was, like you got to defend yourself. If someone's trying to bump you and trying to get in your
yeah,
face.
yeah, of course.
Like,
There's ways to
what would
handle
you
it.
do if you're in Gorilla and some
If
child
I'm
just comes up to you and starts like trying to like punk you out? Like, what are you gonna do?
I would have went out, had my match, got back into Gorilla, and looked for him, and then
Well, Punk
figured it
canceled
out
it
from
right then
there.
and there. He choked him out apparently. So,
Yeah, right before he went
could
out,
you
like,
imagine choking somebody out before you go out to the ring?
yeah, I mean, my
Could you
thing is
imagine
like,
just
what
putting
if?
somebody in a
Listen,
guillotine and then like 10 seconds later, music hit and you're going out in front of 80,000 people?
what if Perry? What if Perry would have like hurt him or hit him, and then Punk would have had to go out like that? And what if Punk couldn't go out? Perry would have destroyed a big match on the card.
If
I
I'm
don't even.
CM Punk,
Yeah.
I am. I don't. That thought probably doesn't even cross my mind. Jungle Boy doesn't look like you'd hurt a fly. No
I
offense to him
think
or
if
anything
this
like
is
that.
not a
Just
work, if this is not a work, I'm gonna
terrible.
make a prediction right now. Jack Perry is gonna be gone from AEW.
You think?
I don't think he brings in that much star power to be causing this magnitude of issue, especially on a night that it was supposed to be a great night for AEW, and this is one of the bigger reports coming out of the show. It's all over social media. A
He's
lot of people
definitely
are talking about
expendable.
it.
He's definitely not somebody
He's
that like.
expendable. Yeah, and
But
I
he's
think
also looked at within this company as one of the pillars, which I don't agree with. I don't think he's that. Right now. I don't think he's all that. But
yeah.
they internally think of him so like that. I can imagine he'll probably get like a slap on the wrist or a 3 month suspension like the Elite did and Punk who was hurt. Like,
Maybe they'll have a three-way match between CM Punk, Adam Page, and Jack Perry. With
maybe.
yeah. All right, so let's get into the CM Punk match. CM Punk, Samoa Joe, first match on the main card, on the main show, kicking off AEW All In. What did you think about this match? I have some thoughts. I have some
Well,
interesting thoughts about
yeah,
this.
I had a couple of hot takes about this last night where I said it would be under 10 minutes and okay at best, and I was wrong about both. Happily wrong about both. I think they went probably what, like closer to 15 or so.
Yeah, I think it was like 12.
Yeah, and it was really good for what it was. I thought it was fun. Punk finished it with the Pepsi plunge, which was the pedigree off the top. Uh, thank God, because that GTS he gave him last week was horrific.
He listened to us yesterday when we told him not to do the GTS on Samoa Joe because it looked terrible. Thank you, CM. Thank you, Phil.
Philip, but the match was good. I thought it was fun. It was a great opener.
Joe is amazing at like some of the things that he does when he tried to do the the little house show dive. That's what we call it, the house show dive over the top rope, and Joe just walked away. It's great.
I love that. I was so wrong about this match. It's two wily veterans that just put together a great match. Nothing crazy flashy. They put it together a great match.
Yeah.
And they knew their place on the card. It was the opening match that got the crowd going. The Punk, it seemed like the crowd is more Joe favorite than Punk. And then
Yeah, and
Punk
Joe was
started
having
playing
fun
into
out
it.
there.
Punk started playing with that. I think he did like the Blue Thunder, and then he did the You Can't See Me, but then he turned it
Yeah,
into the Hogan leg. Oh, it was
yeah,
great.
yeah. We got a
So good.
Cena Hogan spot.
Oh God, it was so good. But
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I'm surprised he didn't break out the people's elbow too.
Oh, that would have been, bro. If he would have did like this, You Can't See Me, into the leg, into the elbow, or some other something, that'd been great.
I would have did the You Can't See Me. Then I would have hit the ropes like Hogan, and then came off with people's elbow. Just food for thought. That's what I would have done.
Then I would have done the ooh ah,
Yeah,
Roman Reigns one.
yeah. It was a solid match. I really liked it. It was very fun. Samoa Joe was having a blast out there. You could see it. He was eating the crowd up alive. When he swung him into the announcer's table,
Oh,
that
that
was
was
a great
sick.
spot. Is gave CM Punk the finger. It was
Yeah,
great.
you know what else I liked about it too was because they have the Ring of Honor library, they were able to dive into that
Yeah,
and show that their history from back then, and I thought that was really cool and really fun.
yeah.
And
It's something WWE wasn't able to do.
well, they would have been able to if they had them too, like they would have found a way because they've gotten footage from there before. But
Yeah.
but would they have played it up that much? Probably not. So
No, they never liked doing that anyway. They never liked showcasing another company, which I get it.
yeah.
But yeah, it was a solid match, and obviously CM Punk retained the real AEW Heavyweight Championship.
You know what I don't like? You know that reminds me. They even had the announce woman, was it Dasha, announce the match for the real world championship. Like, what? I mean, why not say like self-professed real world champion or
Yeah, and he has
yeah,
a
yeah.
big X drawn on it with spray
Right,
paint.
which
Like
is
you
fine.
just
Which is fine.
tarnishing. I don't
No,
like it.
I like that. That's putting his spin on it because he's not the champion, but he's going to go around saying he is. So it's his belt.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
yeah,
But when you're recognizing him as the real world's champion, instead of people like your announcer that's supposed to be like unbiased or whatever, it's like just make him like, Punk is obviously saying that because that's what he thinks. But the
yeah,
unbiased thing should be the self-proclaimed real world champion.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That's just what I think. Or at
Air
least put like
quotes.
real world championship in, yeah, quotation, something. But
Yeah,
she's like, this is for the real world championship. It's like,
it didn't
okay,
even
then,
feel like a championship fight.
well, because it's not a real title match.
Exactly. It's pointless to me. Unless they're going somewhere with this, and he goes after MJF and champion versus champion, who figure out
Oh,
who the
they're
real
going
world
there
champion.
eventually, for sure.
Yeah, they should do. Listen, here's my thing. You're gonna make CM Punk walk around with this title for 6 to 8 months, and do this whole shtick. Just get it over with. He should have came back and went right after MJF. Let MJF go over because CM Punk doesn't need it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm getting too deep into rabbit hole here. Next match. The trios match. This was a fun one too.
This was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun.
I was very.
Mm,
I just enjoyed it. It was fun to see. It was a fun six man. I am loving that pairing right there of Takeshka and Callis. And you know what? I was in talking with my buddies.
yeah.
What?
No, it's I'm laughing because his name,
Oh,
the way
Taki.
you helped me remember his name.
So I was telling my friends. I was talking to my friends before, and I was like, I just like that pairing, and I would like to see Takeshka in the main event mix. Not necessarily saying he's got to be in the world title match, but just get up there and just with singles way. And I was not sold on him at first. Like I always
Yeah,
thought he was good because he was fine. He was a fun wrestler, but I was just like, yeah,
yeah,
whatever. Another guy that's going to come in from wherever and be a flash in the pan and then be gone. But I think they're doing a good job of making him into like a unique character along with Don Callis as his mouthpiece
yeah.
and almost like a
I like Don
killer.
Callis.
I love Don Callis. So I'm a big fan of Takeshka. I'm happy he got the win. I mean, if I think it's going to lead until I mean, I think it's gonna be fuck next week. I think it's gonna be a singles match next week. It needs to be him and Omega. They've been kind of building that up for a while.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
hear this maniac Tony Khan? Apparently next year it's gonna be the same thing. All in this weekend and then all out the following weekend.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
In Wembley.
No, well, all in's in Wembley, but all out's probably gonna be in Chicago again. It's gonna be the exact
Yeah.
same thing. They're gonna
Yeah.
do a pay per view a week apart. I almost not to say that I
Maniac.
want them to do bad, but I almost hope the next week's is kind of like so they're like, all right, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, it's too much. Like it's too much. You're making us spend $50 twice in the same month, dude.
Same month, a week apart.
A week apart. We didn't even get paid yet. Tony Khan.
Man.
Man, whatever.
But yeah,
Yeah,
the trios match is good. But it's
solid
exactly
match.
what I thought it was going to be. It was like just a way to get all six of those guys on the show. It was fine. Like I said last night, it's going to be good, and it was. But I'm not nothing really to write home. It was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool match. This match that we're gonna get into, this next match here, this was my match of the night, and I'll explain why in a second. You had these four guys with a decade-long rivalry, and just there was a realism to this, and obviously I'm happy that FTR went over. I was really worried that they weren't going to go over, but because of Cash's legal issues that he's in, but they went over, and I think they needed to go over. I think they needed it more than the Bucks needed it because the Bucks are up there already.
Yeah, the Bucks have
FTR
made
was
men.
always just right below them. And now I feel like, they really needed it. There was a couple things from this match that were a bit funny to me. The crowd chanting, Wheeler's got a gun. That UK crowd, it's just, they're the best.
So much fun.
So much fun. And then, I just think it was a great match. It felt real. The moves were executed well. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that match?
I thought it was tremendous. I thought they did good callbacks to the two previous matches. Like when Cash Wheeler went for the 450 and missed, that's what cost them the first match.
Yeah.
And then obviously the big kick out, and then they did the thing where like the FTR hit the double knees on the Bucks where they kissed the mat on the cheek, like how Adam Cole
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah.
And that's how they beat them last time, and that's didn't work. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of callbacks. I thought it was a lot of fun, high energy. It was just what I want out of tag team wrestling. The Bucks played the more obvious the heel role. It seemed like,
Yeah.
as they should. Obviously, they're like the more established team. So,
Yeah.
I was very pleased with the match. I think the FTR needed it too. I agree with you 100%. I think the Bucks are they're already there. Like they don't. A loss isn't. They could lose the next 6 months, and they're still going to be the Young Bucks.
Yeah, they're still gonna
It's
be the
not
Young
going to
Bucks.
hurt them ever. Um, and also, while it was the third match of a trilogy, I also, I don't think these two are ever going to be really done with each other.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Especially the way the match ended. You know, they extended their hands.
Right,
FTR extended their hands, and the Bucks walked away.
right. So I think just a fantastic match, and I'm hoping it leads to the six man that we all want to see.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Excalibur, but somebody said that they're probably going to be lifelong rivals. Like as long
Yeah,
as they're both breathing, they're going to be fighting. And I love every minute of it because they put
right,
on bangers every time.
right. Because it's something you can go back to a year from now, and it's still going to make sense.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean. Or you got to maybe switch the roles, put FTR as heels now, and Bucks and faces again. You know what I mean? It's like this. It's something you could always go back to.
Yeah, yeah. When you need a good match, just throw those four guys in the
Right.
same ring, and
It's
you'll
going to
get a
be
good
like what the
match.
Hardys were to Edge and Christian or the Dudleys back in the 2000s.
Now, here's the kicker: if Edge ends up signing with AEW, do we
Cliff
get
Cage.
Edge and Cliff Cage? Do we end up getting Edge and Christian, well, Cliff Cage and Christian Cage versus FTR versus the Bucks versus the Hardys?
I mean,
Imagine, imagine a four-way TLC match with those four teams in it. You blow the roof off of any venue.
I don't want to see Matt, Jeff, or Edge climbing ladders.
I know, I know. They're gonna do it anyway, though.
Yeah, I don't want to see that, but I wouldn't mind seeing like Edge and Christian or Cliff Cage and Christian Cage against the Bucks or FTR.
Yeah,
Hell, if you want to do a Hardys for old time's sake, just for the hell of it, because that would, for nostalgia.
yeah,
I mean, I don't think the match would be worth a damn, but I mean, listen, I'm the biggest Hardy Boy fan in the world, my favorite tag team of all time, but neither one of them can move.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
I mean, but
yeah,
we'll get into Christian later. But as far as these two go, I think they're going to be until they are no longer in the ring, even probably past that. Like one of them, like Dax Harwood's going to be on commentary 20 years from now, and someone's going to bring up the Young Bucks, and he's going to get like mad and gimmicks.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
that's gonna be
I
the
love it.
rivalry. That's great.
I love it. I love it, and I like long term storytelling like this. You
Yeah,
gotta love it when people are that invested into the story that they don't want to break kayfabe and they just
right. And again, it's
it
something
makes
that you could
wrestling so
weave.
much fun.
You could weave in and out of it.
Yeah, it makes
They
wrestling
could
really
not
fun.
look at each other for 2 years. You go back to it, and it's going to be like, oh my god, here we go again.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, it was a great match. My match of the night, just
100%.
because of the real feel that it brought to the table, and the moves were insane. But this next match that we're gonna get into is gonna be a lot of people's match of the night, just because of the pure and utter chaos that it was, and I think you know where I'm going with this.
I loved
We're
it.
talking Stadium Stampede. This match was so much fun. It
I
was,
yeah. It was a blast. It was, I think, arguably like if somebody said this was their favorite match of the night, I wouldn't argue with them at all. I thought it was a lot of
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
They
and
kicked the shit out of each other.
oh man, did they kick the shit out of each other?
Orange Cassidy did the Superman punch with the glass, the shards of glass on the wrist, on the
Yeah,
fist. His Trent Beretta's mom came through with the cookies, the cookie pan. Um,
Sue was in
so,
attendance.
oh my god, and the Blackpool Combat Club just keep looking like absolute killers.
The
Uh,
entrance was amazing.
Entrance is great. I'm not a huge fan of Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, I'm not a
I
huge
don't
fan
really
of him.
care for him that
He
much.
kind of doesn't fit in too
He
much.
fits. He just has one emotion, and that's like looks like he's trying too hard to fit in with the
Yeah,
Blackpool Combat
yeah,
Club.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Personality wise, in ring he's fine. He's really good
yeah.
in ring.
Yeah, he's great
But
in
as
ring.
far as a personality, it seems like he's just like he's trying too hard to be one of them, and
Yeah,
it's just like one emotion of his is just to try hard. So
yeah,
but a Santana Ortiz looked great.
yep. Yes,
Um,
they did. Proud of
I'm
those guys.
oh my god, I'm so happy for them, and I'm
Hmm.
hoping that this is the start of a rejuvenated run for them.
Yeah,
Um, Especially as heels. Hopefully, they're the ones that go up against FTR next and
yeah,
ultimately dethrone FTR. That'd be great because when they came into the fold, 4 years ago now, I was like really like, oh god, thank God, like they're gonna get big time. And they just for whatever they never took off because I don't think they were given opportunities to take off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that. Match as a whole, I thought was really good. Eddie Kingston's a madman. I love him.
Yeah, so is John Moxley, and this
Oh, it's
is
gonna be
so.
when they go 1-on-1. Oh, look at that.
Look at that infographic. John Moxley with skewers sticking out of his freaking forehead. He's the psychopath.
When him and Kingston go 1-on-1,
Yeah.
finally, because now they physically got involved with each other now. Like they got physical with each other. And did you see if they Kingston puts him through the barbed wire board that they're just laying there together after the 3 count? And Kingston's giving him the finger. He's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this. He's like right behind him. Oh,
Yeah.
tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could tell that they're
It's
gonna be
great.
like they're gonna like love killing each other, and then like they're gonna be best friends again.
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably gonna smoke cigarettes right before they go out there. They're gonna kill each other, and then they're gonna go in the backstage and smoke a cigarette together again. Normal wrestler stuff.
Yeah, no, but what I mean was like even in storylines, like you could tell like there's always
Yeah.
gonna be like a love there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
right now they gotta fight it out,
And
and
I
I like that.
really, they're listen. So, not to shit on the situation at all by any means, but yesterday, WWE or 2 days ago, Friday night, WWE had a Terry Funk hardcore match with no weapons. It was like one table spot. Am I wrong?
Um, I gotta rewatch it. I'm not sure, but
There was like no weapons. There was no steel. There was no trash cans. There was no kendo sticks. I don't think
I mean
from
it's
what I
SmackDown. What
remember.
do you expect?
Yes, but then don't market it as a Terry Funk hardcore match.
No, I agree, but
But this match,
this is
Terry
fun.
Funk was loving every minute of it, especially the fork. I love the fork.
Oh my god, that was great. When like he whips it out, Cassidy goes for something. He sees it, goes for something, misses, and he stabs him in the head. Oh my god, what
Back
the
of the
fuck?
head, and then
Yeah.
rubs it all over his forehead.
Oh, what
Man,
the
it
fuck?
just got my gears going.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, that was a good match. And
It was a great
but we
match.
were wrong. I thought the Blackpool Combat Club was going to go over. I think
Yeah.
Santana Ortiz would have benefited in some ways, but it's Orange Cassidy's on a run, so
And Santana Ortiz didn't take the pin.
no.
So, we got to see where it goes from here. I'm excited to see Kingston and Moxley mix it up. I'm excited to see Santana and Ortiz, hopefully get the tag team title run that, really solidifies them.
Well, what's going to be nice is now they're going to revisit that feud with FTR from a couple years ago that they was kind of like more in the background of a bigger storyline. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that. And now with the reversal of roles, FTR's babies, Santana Ortiz as heels, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm just excited. And we'll see where Wheeler Yuta ends up.
I mean, hopefully on Dark.
Yeah.
No, I'm
hopefully
joking.
hopefully on Beyond Wrestling.
You know what? I hope him and Claudio go to Ring of Honor and go for those tag team titles. I think that'd be
That'd be
fun.
cool.
That'd be
Yeah,
good for
that'd be
them.
cool.
Go to Ring
Yeah.
of Honor. I don't watch Ring of Honor. I like that.
Yeah. It's I mean we did see a Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship match today, which is nice. So next match, AEW Women's Championship match, 4-way. Saraya, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, and Sheeta. Now, here's my thing with this match. I think the match I think it was like one of the first matches that it started to get dark. So the entrances stood out more. I loved Saraya coming out with her family.
Yeah.
Obviously, Saraya picked up the win. There's a little picture of her celebrating with the championship title and her family. I think she got what she deserved tonight, today. I think she deserved every second of that celebration, and I'm very, very happy for her. And her mom got involved at one point, took a nice little stiff punch. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. Wasn't a blow me away match, but the moment after the match is something that's gonna live on for a long time. I feel. So, she got that moment. That 80,000 plus fans in attendance screaming for her, holding up a title. She got that moment.
Yeah, I mean the match was like you said, it was what it was. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but
No, it wasn't terrible.
it was all right. It was very serviceable.
Yeah.
One, first of all, let me say yes. I think that I'm happy for her, especially with what she's had to deal with over the last decade.
Yeah.
With the injury and being forced to retire and thinking she's never going to compete again, and then getting cleared,
Yeah.
resigning, and now she's champion. My complaint with the match is you kind of bring her in as like a hero's welcome, which you should have. Like there was no, of course she's going to be a babyface. You know what I mean? Like you did the right thing by that, but then she cheats to win.
Yeah.
It's on her own partner. So it's like, you know, uh, good for her. I just wish they would have found some other way.
Another head scratching moment from AEW.
Yeah, you could have just had her like win clean.
Yeah.
And but now where does this group go? Because obviously there's dissension now. Um, and this was like your dominant faction in the women's division that was kind of like running. They were involved in everything. So now where do you go? But other than that, I thought it was fine. I'm happy she got her moment. I've always, so sorry. I've
It's okay.
always been a fan.
It was a long day of
Oh,
wrestling.
look, I've always been a fan.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the first women to come up in WWE in a really long time. That was like a wrestler,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
somebody that they just signed because they were pretty and trained to wrestle,
Yeah.
and was
Won
like
her won a
okay at that.
championship on her debut.
Right, but she came from a wrestling background, which at
Yeah.
that time they weren't signing people like that, women like
No.
that, I should say. So, and she came up and it was great, and
She was
I
young.
think she was
Yeah.
very young, and she kind of missed out on like the real when these women started to really come up and started to come into their own and like really be taken seriously on the main stage. She couldn't really take part in it because she was hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for her now. So
Yeah.
hats off
Yeah.
that I don't not have, but
Yeah. Great job to Soraya. Really happy for her. This next match. We got a couple more matches to go, my friend. We are only halfway through. This next match, Darby Allin, Sting, Joker Sting,
yes.
versus Swerve and Christian Cage. Another fun match. The entrance for Darby Allin and Sting was tremendous.
Come out to Seek and Destroy from Metallica, which was Sting came out for a
Yes.
cup of coffee in WCW, but it was great. It was so good.
Yeah, yeah, it was tremendous. Obviously, we got Sting and Darby Allin picking up the W here. Putting them in the coffin, but it was great. It was a fun match. I enjoyed it, and I'm happy for them. Sting is just still moves great.
I mean, yeah, fun, like you said, fun match. Oh God, sorry again. It was a really fun. Yeah, I'm tired.
It's okay.
It was a really fun match. Super happy for Sting. Uh, I'm so into what Swerve Strickland's doing right now.
Yeah,
I
he's
kind
great
of
on the mic.
he's good
Good in the
character.
ring too.
Yeah, very good in the ring. He's just got a presence about him, and he's got like that main event. Like he could be a main event guy if you just let him try. Like put him in that
Yeah, yeah.
spot. Christian is Christian, of course, but I think Swerve to me stood out a little bit. I would like to see him get more opportunities. Um, There's a part of me like, I'm a big Sting guy, and small part of me when Swerve had him in the casket, I was kind of hoping he was about to win,
Yeah.
just to get him that, he just put Sting in the coffin, but it wasn't meant to be. The match was
Yeah.
fine. Darby Allin's a maniac. Did
Hmm.
a coffin drop from the top rope to the floor, which was onto a casket, really, and he missed,
Yeah.
and he just hit the casket.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're like, whoa. I have a feeling, and I hope I'm
Darby
wrong, but
Allin's a nut job.
I have a feeling like 10 years from now he's gonna be like, why did I do that? That's a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple things that he does that he's probably going to regret in a couple years, but
Hey, hats off to him. He's tremendous talent.
he is a tremendous guy. Tremendous talent.
Wish he could talk
Um,
better, but I think that's the only thing that's really holding him back is like he's got the aura, he's got the presence, he's got the look, he's got the uniqueness, he's got the charisma. He just he's not really great on the mic, but hopefully that comes. He's still really young too. So
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, with experience, he'll get there.
just keep throwing
Um,
him there with MJF. He'll be forced
yeah,
to start developing something.
yeah. MJF's so good on the mic. We're gonna get into him in a little while, but yeah, he's so good. Um, these two. Listen, Chris Jericho, Will Ospreay. I absolutely loved the fact that Ospreay picked up the W, and I'll tell you why. But I also love the fact that he came out to a huge hometown pop. He and Chris Jericho was really getting into the heel role here, right? That whole thing where you have to, you know, make sure you what's the word I'm looking for here? Make sure you know who the face and who the heel is in the match. They read
Oh
it.
yeah.
They read the crowd great, and it was a great match. Listen, there was one little thing that stood out to me, and I don't want to harp on it too much because these things happen, and it's not that big of a deal. But I just hope Chris is okay. That lion salt that he tried to hit and he dumped himself on his head. It was a scary moment for me for him. You know.
It all looked like he was all right, but yeah, the match was good. The
Yeah.
match was fun. The match was, like you said, I'm happy Osprey got the win. He again going back to what he needs it a lot more. He's the
Mm-hmm.
one that Chris Jericho is Teflon at this point. He could lose
Yeah.
forever and still be Chris Jericho. Will Osprey is still, at least to an American audience, that is, obviously they know the name, they know he's really good, but he's not as established over in America. Obviously they were in London, but
Yeah.
there's a big audience over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's continuing to just show who he is and show that he's a main event guy, just waiting to get put into that spot. He beats Jericho clean. Jericho, Sammy Guevara cheated. Um, it was just fun. I'm glad Osprey got the win. But now, to me, it's like the talking point is what happened after.
Yeah. With Guevara and
Right.
Jericho.
I thought Guevara was about to do a turn,
Yeah.
and then that never happened. Jericho just kind of walked out on him. So now,
Yeah. Yeah. Pushed him away.
right, and I think that's good though, and I'll tell you why. Because Jericho was going to, be a part of Callus's family, right? And then it was just like Callus wasn't. They did the whole thing where Callus wasn't actually expecting it. It was more of a trap. And then when he did, it was like, oh my god. So it's like to me, it's like, so now you betrayed your group. You betrayed this guy. How much?
Yeah.
How many? Now you walked away from him. How much more bets he gonna take?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We'll see what's. Well, I guess we'll find out next week on the other AEW pay
Oh
per
my
view.
god, yeah.
Uh, Tony.
And he's like willing, like he's like excited about it. Like, oh yes, pay another $50 to watch a show that has almost no build anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's like 3 announced matches.
Yeah, Miro versus Hobbs, which sure will be fine, but like the story I can care less about.
Yeah.
Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I like Ruby Soho, but yeah, it's
I mean, so do I, but I could care less about this story that doesn't exist between the two of them.
yeah.
And then is there another one that's announced for them?
Yeah, I think there was one other announced match. I don't want
Oh, I
to.
think it's Darby and Luchasaurus.
Yeah, Darby and Luchasaurus, and I thought Omega was put in a match. It might no Orange Cassidy. I think, or is that on? I don't know. There's so much confusion going on. You can't even keep track. I thought Penta and Orange Cassidy were gonna fight for the Intercontinental What is it?
International.
International.
Wait, they're fighting? Weren't they just teaming? Did I miss something?
I don't know. Yeah, I think at the presser they announced that.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
I could be wrong. It's too much to keep track, man. It's like so much shit going on.
They got a lot of
Get your shit
content, man.
together, AEW.
Bro, they got Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, Pen and Paper. They got between now and next Sunday. They have 3 shows sandwiched in between.
And then we have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Payback. I'm done.
Guarantee we're not watching most of that.
I'm done.
I'll
Let's
watch
keep.
Raw. I'll watch Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown.
Yeah, I DVR everything.
Me
I'm
too.
like Mick Foley. I don't have time to watch wrestling. I DVR it.
Yeah.
All right, moving along here
This was
at
fun.
a fast pace, as fast as we can get it. Yeah, this was fun, and I am really, really happy for the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
The House of Black entrance,
Loved it. And with the little
Was
Bray
great.
Wyatt shout out, it was
the
great.
Fireflies, and the Lantern.
Yeah. And just their
Great
entrance
touch.
in general was so good.
Yeah, yeah. And so I wish that's my only thing. Like I wish they did more like elaborate entrances. I guess I'm so used to seeing like big elaborate entrances in WrestleMania that I thought there would have been more. But I guess the ones that were important got the big entrances tonight. So
Well, I mean, I think it's
I'm
also,
okay with
I
it.
agree with you, but in the same token, you want to like try to keep it as far away from WWE WrestleMania as possible because
Yeah.
it's already
Well,
got that big show vibe, like where it's just like it's automatically, oh, that's got to be like WrestleMania. So
MJF came out on the throne.
right, and then you had the House of Black. I mean, their entrance is always cool.
Yeah.
Jericho
I,
singing himself out, Saraya with her family. You have the big entrances.
yeah. It was cool. It was cool. There was some
But yeah,
coolness.
this match is the right team won. I'm glad that the Acclaimed won. The crowd got to scissor, which is great.
Scissor me, Sal. Other side. We're scissoring behind the scenes right now. You don't even see it.
You know, it's great. I do scissor one of my supervisors every day.
You do.
I walk in and I just do this,
Yeah.
and he just knows, and we just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's I
you should scissor the old ladies at your job.
I scissor my white. No, never mind. Moving along.
Main event time, right?
Well, before we get into the main event, somebody showed up. So I was speculating that there was going to be a star that was
Oh
going to
yeah.
get put
How did I forget
on the
about
big
this?
screen in the audience, and it wasn't Edge. It wasn't Cliff Cage.
It was not Cliff Cage.
It was this lovely young lady, Mercedes Monet.
Who was that guy next to her?
Probably her manager.
Oh yeah. You know, they showed it once earlier in the night too. I forgot at what point.
Like
maybe.
0 hour.
Yeah, at some point. But that's gonna lead to obvious like speculation. Like I mean, obviously that's what they want. They wouldn't show her on the fucking TV if they didn't want people talking about it. So obviously
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
gonna show up at some point. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of
exactly.
when.
And Soraya called her out.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, during the presser, Soraya said, Mercedes Monet, whenever you're ready to come join us, I'll be waiting, or something like that, or whatever. Yeah, just.
Well, you got the ready-made
is she
feud.
injured or is she ready to go?
I don't know. She might still be
I
in
think
this,
she
but
said she's injured, right? I think Soraya mentioned that she wasn't. No,
she was hurt a
I
little
think
while.
Tony Khan mentioned that she wasn't cleared to return, but he wanted her there to see all the matches.
You know what? That's a ready-made feud with her and Soraya too, because she was the one that threw the kick that kind of put Soraya on the shelf for 7 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Listen, it wasn't her fault. It was an accident. It is what it is. She probably did that kick a million times to a million different people, but Soraya
Mm.
just has the bad neck. So, but there's the ready-made feud right there. You put me
Yeah.
on the shelf for a decade almost. Now I'm the champion. You want to come in and take my spot? All right, let's go.
Yeah. I shall put her on the shelf.
Yeah, there you go.
Are you ready for the main event? It's main event time.
I'm ready.
Tugging on the heartstrings this whole match, man.
Oh, so good.
MJF and Adam Cole. First of all, the entrances were tremendous.
Yes, they were.
MJF came out on the throne as the devil. Obvious knock at Triple H. An obvious knock at Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, listen. He's anytime you're in a stadium and you come out on a throne, you're gonna get a nod at Triple H because he started doing that, before all these guys were doing it and everybody's doing it. Am I wrong?
Well, the throne thing was like a thing for a while, but I don't think it's a knock. I think it's more of a
And you
he's
think it's
just
a nod?
could be a nod. I think he's definitely a fan of Triple H. First of all,
Okay,
I'm,
so yeah, maybe I said the wrong thing. Maybe it was a nod to Triple
and
H.
I'm pretty
Either
sure.
way,
I think we could
I
be
enjoyed
wrong,
it.
and this is who the fuck are we? How do we know? But I'm pretty sure he's friends with Cody Rhodes. So
Okay. Well, listen, I love the entrance. I thought the
oh, it's
entrance
good.
was exactly what it needed to be because he is the king of AEW right now. He is on top of the mountain. Um, this
Great match.
match
Great match.
just tugged on our heartstrings the entire time.
Subtle teases throughout. There was who's going to turn on who's going to take the cheap shot. I remember at some point, what they did that they were smacking the chair back and forth on the ground or whatever, and then they threw it, and then Max put it around his neck, jumped on the floor, and
Yep.
then the ref
They
turned
did
around.
the Eddie thing. I
Yeah,
loved
it
it.
was so good. Uh, at some point, Max put the ring on his finger like he was about to hit. He couldn't do it. Then Roddy came in and low blowed Max. Adam Cole does the Panama Sunrise, the boom, and then he was about to hit him with the belt. He couldn't do it. And then that's what ends up costing him because he goes to MJF and MJF rolls him up into the small package for the 3 count.
Yeah.
Throughout, it was basically that throughout. They kicked the shit out of each other. It was a great match.
The ref even took a Panama Sunrise.
Yeah. I love that they have like the thing where it's like the Panama Sunrise is this move where you just can't stop it. Even though you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that the
yeah.
ref is there and he's there right there, you just can't stop. You just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and then yeah, even after it was like, is somebody gonna turn? Are they gonna do this? And then it was just really good and good visual for the end with all the confetti.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
and I think they did the right thing because although me and you were speculating last night with Mo about a turn or this or that, there's a lot of mileage left in this. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think they did the right thing too. I was happy
right,
that they didn't do the what everybody predicted.
right, there's still a lot of mileage in it. You can take this for a little while.
Yeah.
So why take that away now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was just overall a really good match, really fun match, and it closed out a really good show.
Yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
what? It was nice. It was like, all right, that was the main event, and it wasn't like I was dead dog tired by the end of it. It was just like it was right where it needed to be. There was nothing before. It was just perfect. I think the spot was great.
It had a
Um,
big fight feel too. It was a perfect main event for the show.
Agreed. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that like I said, I'm glad MJF got the. I like the small package win
Yeah. Yeah, it
because
was
now they're gonna play into it. Like Adam Cole could have taken the cheap shot and probably won.
yeah.
Oh, that's another thing we talked. They did the draw. The double pin,
Yeah.
right? I
I thought
forgot
that
about
was
that.
brilliant.
Yeah, because it plays back into the time limit draw where MJF will walk out when Adam Cole said 5 minutes, and then MJF says no, not 5 minutes. It's not enough. We're going to there's a winner.
Yeah.
I also love how wrestling is just able to come up with the rules on their own. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Like not like Tony didn't come out and was like, "Hey,
Ah, fuck Tony Khan. It's only his company. Who cares what
yeah."
he's got to say?
If Tony Khan would have walked out and said what MJF said, and he would have been like, 5 minutes is not enough. You guys are gonna wrestle until we get a winner in fucking Wembley.
I would have
I would
hated
have.
it. Tony Khan speaks like he's on Adderall at all times.
Tony Khan needs to
He
put
has
some
no like
fucking big
stage
boy
presence
pants on.
whatsoever. He has no stage
Yeah.
presence. He doesn't know
So
how to.
then hire a GM.
I
Like get
agree.
a make Big Show the GM for all I care.
Yeah, Big Show. Anybody.
Yeah, MJF is like, fuck it. You know what? We're gonna wrestle till one of us dies.
MGF is like, I am the GM now. I'm the commissioner, the president of this company, and I'm going to do what I say. Yeah.
Fucking head scratching
Tony Khan
AEW.
he's got I don't know, there's something about him that bothers me.
Listen, I told you. Listen, I like AEW. There's nothing wrong with AEW. I'm cool with AEW, but they make me scratch my head a lot. At WWE too. Not to be
Of
fair,
course.
WWE also makes me scratch my head a lot too. But
But the thing about AEW
hopefully
is
they
that
learn from these
it's like
things.
you scratch your head, but God forbid somebody points something out on the interwebs and like it's like these hawks of just like, no, AEW's the greatest thing of all time. You can't say anything about it. It's the greatest thing ever. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, Jesus Christ, bro. All I said was this fucking guy needs to stop fucking speaking so much.
And I have a soundbite specifically for those people.
You fucking mark! Yeah!
There you go. AEW. All in. Wembley. 2023. August 27th. In the history books, 81,035 paid attendance. Record broken in Wembley.
That's
But
nuts.
But the real question here, Salvatore, can they do it again next year? Was this a fad? Was this people were buying tickets because it was their first show and they want to elevate AEW? Can they produce the same results over and over again? Because anybody can get a lucky wild punch, but can you replicate it and expand and grow from it?
I think they can.
So, wait, hold on. Let's go on a prediction here. Okay? Can we do a year-long prediction?
Sure.
Do you think they break the paid attendance record that they set this year next year?
Short answer, no. But to be a little more complex, I think if they next year first will have a compelling TV product going in, and also you know how those fans are, so if they can like get them to rally around, like, hey guys, let's break that. I think then they will, right? I think they have a better shot that like by doing the same, like let's rally the troops, and we need to have at least one more person than last year. And if they advertise it like that, then probably. But if it's just going to be like a regular thing, well, I mean, could they? Absolutely.
Yeah.
They did it tonight or today. But will they? Right, like you said, first time is different. It's a happening. It's a spectacle. We got to be there for this. Next year, I think it's going to be more predicated on what you're doing on television to build towards it.
Yeah.
And are you going to have something that's interesting enough then to warrant 81 or 82,000 people coming to the building? So we'll see.
We'll see. Time will tell. I'm going to go out on a bold prediction and say they will not break the paid attendance record next year. I think it was they got them to the dance tonight, first show in London. It was a fantastic show. I really enjoyed it, and I can't really say that about too many AEW pay-per-views just because of the booking to me is all over the place sometimes.
100%.
But it was a great show. It was a lot of fun. But, and I could be wrong here. I'm not trying to shit on them. But I think that it was like people looked at it as like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I don't know if next year they'll probably get close to it. They're gonna
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
be successful. I just don't know if they break that record. We'll see. And now does WWE go after that record? Do you think WWE cares enough to say, "Hey, we re-broke our record"? What do you think?
Yeah, at some point. But when you can't, unless you're gonna throw a WrestleMania in there like that,
Yeah.
But we'll see. Because also you got to think about it too. Their setup it's a very. I love the setup. I love the entrance. I loved it all, but it was very. It wasn't like this big thing like WWE does, where like they have the fucking Titantron the size of the stadium.
Yeah.
They have a very basic and simple yet really cool looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if WWE is going to try to break that record, they're going to have to. They're going to have to do something like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
will they? I think they could. Will they for a WrestleMania? Probably not, because they're going to need that whole side of the building to set up whatever stage they got.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. Sal.
Hold on. Hold on.
I really love this music. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, where are you? You're not on here. Hold on. Are you ready for some wrestling trivia?
I am. Yeah, do the little polka.
Yeah. Listen. I just amaze myself. I love every minute of it.
What do you got for me this week? Come on, bud.
Well, this week, so welcome to Wrestling Trivia. I'm your host, Billy, and this is my lifelong contestant, Sal.
Howdy.
Everybody say hi to Sal. Wrestling Hot Tag Trivia is where I'm going to ask Sal, give him some hints on a wrestler, and he's going to try to guess the wrestler. Sal, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to put 1 minute on the clock. And Salvatore has 60 seconds.
Okay.
Last week, he got it in like 20 seconds. This week, I'm going to try to really stump him.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Timer on the clock. And let the games begin. These two individuals made their debut in 1983. They were billed from Chicago, Illinois.
LOD.
My God. I'm sick of you and your knowledge.
That was easy. You kind of laid it up. Once you said build from Chicago and two individuals, come on.
Could have been anybody else. It could have been... I'm trying to think of two people from Chicago. Could have been CM Punk and... who else from Chicago? Tell me.
There's nobody that's tag team build from Chicago. That's synonymous. So.
Well, there you have it, folks. Once again, I was unable. I think you broke last week's record. You know what? Next week, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, buddy.
Brother.
Well, thank you for playing Hot Tag Trivia. Again, if you guys have any wrestlers or questions you would like me to ask Sal, you can hit me up on the DM, and I'll ask him.
Please, I'll murder those questions. Come on. These people don't want it.
You and your brain make me sick.
It's not that big of a brain.
Sal.
Just a bit of a wrestling nerd, you know?
Yeah. I can't even think straight.
Late.
Yeah, this one was a late one. Busy day. I'm tired. You're tired. Our fans are tired of hearing us talk.
Yeah, that's it. All six of them.
We didn't get to indie wrestler of the week this week. That's
Well,
okay. We'll get to it next week. It was a very
yeah,
busy week of wrestling.
yeah, it was nothing. We didn't really. I mean, I wasn't really able to peruse the internet this week. And like
Yeah,
you said, that there was, between Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk passing and AEW's big show, like there was a lot of other stuff going on, so I really didn't see much. So we'll get to it next week.
we will
That's
get to
something
it
I want
next
to
week.
keep doing because it's like nice and it's cool.
Yeah,
But
we will get to it next week. And please, guys, send us in footage.
yeah,
Send us in recommendations on wrestlers or indie wrestlers that you would like us to highlight, and we'll highlight them.
right,
But, I think we closed the show the same way we started the show. Paying tribute to two of the greatest professional wrestlers to ever live. So, Sal, have a great night.
to Billy.
Everybody out there, thank you for tuning into the Hot Tag Podcast. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share this with your friends and family. Find us on all social media. Hit that QR code with your phone cameras, and it'll take you to all of our social media pages. And until next time, America, have a great night. And thank you
And
for
keep it
watching.
tight.